Hey guys, this is Tson, and today we're going to be talking about 5 commanders from the Lost Caverns of Ixalan that not many people are talking about, because I think that there are kind of a few hidden kind of gems in there, or ones that, people are focusing on the big kind of gods, or, the ones from the face commanders and stuff like that, where, there's other secret kind of, well, not secret so much as ones that just people aren't talking about as much. So the first one here is Xavier, who I think is probably my favorite one on this list, or at least up there as one of my favorite ones. His ability here, allowing him to remove counters or, sacrifice other creatures, is very important for being able to manipulate stuff. So we've got a couple different things here that we can potentially synergize with him. The first one here is Sagas. So like, Kiora Best, the Sea God here. We can get rid of the counters, the lore counters here. So we can just like, if we ping up to here to number 2, then we can just go back and forth. Just using his ability to tap and then remove those counters, which is really nice. I actually pulled him today. I'm going to be making a deck from him because I'm pretty excited about him. The other thing is we can use like Kiora's follower here to untap another target permanent. So we can, tap Kiora's follower, untap our Xavier, and then, tap again to be able to tap our Kiora or whatever we'd like. The other thing is that we can also use the proliferate here. If we want to sacrifice a creature with him, you can proliferate, and then from there you can also add in more counters if you wanted to kind of skip ahead and read ahead, essentially. The other thing that I'm kind of, I missed here, and I didn't talk about because the removing a counter is huge, let alone this, is that you can populate when you remove that counter. So, you can go over here, you can remove the counter off of here, and then let's just populate out our Kiora's follower, so then we can do it again. So you can just, make a whole army of Kiora's followers and then just, sacrifice them, populate. You can, just keep kind of moving around. You can keep tapping stuff. You can just create this huge army of stuff. You can also, go with the fungi and, populate out some really big fungi characters, and or remove some counters away from stuff and then use it to create additional fungi and stuff. There's lots of really cool stuff that you can potentially do with Xavier, and the fact that he can remove counters as well as populate, as well as proliferate, as well as sacrifice, there's so many different stuff that you can kind of use between these 3 different things here. So next one here is Allak. So the one reason I want to talk about him, I'm not sure gender here, is because not this first bit. I've kind of focused on this a little bit here, where you create the flood counters, you create islands, you create a whole bunch of stuff with Island Walk. But the bottom part here, at the beginning of your end step, untap each permanent you control with a counter on it. With this, you can have a mermaid army that's just going to untap constantly. So some different examples here is like the Flood of Mars. You can go in here, you can put flood counters on everything, and then from there you can untap them all with Xolotoyak by on your lands, put them on there, or on your target creatures. Then you've also got stuff like Seedborn Muse, which untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step. So you can create like an untap tribal, tapping stuff and untapping it constantly during other people's turns, or during your own turn. Lots of really cool stuff that you can do there. Go in, swing with everything, and that's just going to untap later on, which is really cool. And I think that there's going to be some really cool stuff that you could potentially do with Xolotoyak here, to kind of like, make use of that untapping and tapping. The flood tokens is like a thing that I've focused on a little bit in the past, which is really nice, but the untapping and tapping I think is going to be really, really cool. So next up, we've got Tson, Gnome Champion. He is one of the new crafting characters that you can craft over into the Golden Gear Colossus. The Golden Gear Colossus over here makes it that whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, you can transform up to one other target double-faced artifact you control, and then create some golems as well. Over here, it means that you can mill some cards away. You may put an artifact away from them into your hand whenever he or another double-faced artifact enters. So you can get some really cool artifact stuff there. So there's like a couple really cool things you can do here. You could do stuff like Azor's Gateway here, which is going to take you quite a while to be able to flip over, because of you got to tap it, exile a card, and then you've got to, if cards with 5 or more different converted costs are exiled with it, so that's 5 turns, you gain 5 life, and you untap it and convert it. Now transform it. Instead, you can just, go, hey, I'm just going to flip this. Like, my Golden Gear Colossus attack, I'm just going to flip this over, and then I'm just going to add in a whole bunch of different mana. Add X mana of any one color in your life pool, where X is your life total. Add in a whole bunch of freaking 40 mana. Just go ahead, just do it. Or you've got stuff like Optimus Prime. So, we've got Transformers. You can flip any of the Transformers that you're able to use here with Tson. Optimus Prime, being able to flip him over if you like, to transform him over, and then you're being able to bolster whenever he attacks. Some really cool stuff that you could potentially do here by being able to constantly flip him over. And because of the fact that this is whenever he battlefield or attacks, you can potentially flip him over whenever you attack, and then get this secondary thing here, which is really cool. I'm really cool. I really, really like this one. So, we've got Malcon, Alluring Scoundrel. You can cheat out every card, every blue card, if you've got him as your commander here. Whenever he attacks, whenever he deals combat damage to a player, for a start, he's got flash and flying. Put a chorus counter onto him. Draw a card, then you discard a card. If there are 4 or more chorus counters on Malcon, you may cast the discarded card without paying its cost. So if you go and discard one of these cards, you can cast it for free. You can cast one with the multiverse for free. Look at the top card, be able to play it. And then once during your turn, you may play a spell from your hand or the top of your library without paying its cost. No cost tribal. We've got Jin Gita. Wow, okay. Jin Gitagaxis Kora Orga. You can do this. You can make it so that your enemies have no hand size, which is really funny. They'll be able to have one card in their hand. And, usually the cost of this, 10 cost, that's going to be quite a while before you're able to get it out there. You can just cheat it in. At the beginning of your end step, you get to draw 7 cards. Your enemy is not going to be able to have any cards. And, you can cheat this in for no cost by just discarding it, which is hilarious. That's hilarious. And then the final one here we've got is Owen Grady Raid Raptor Trainer and Blue Loyal Raptor. So these two are partners. You can use them together. The whole point of it is that Owen over here is training up Blue and giving him menace, giving us her. I think Blue's a chick. Menace, trample, reach, or haste onto a target dinosaur. So you can put those counters onto Blue, and then Blue is going to spread them out when new dinosaurs come in. Put any counters that are on Blue onto any dinosaurs that enter. So we could do some other cool stuff with this. We could take Goldberry here. We could move counters around onto Blue. So, we can move some +1/+1s onto Blue. We could move some, other things. Like, look at this, Agent Toolkit over here. We could take this and be like, hey, Goldberry, can you grab that flying counter and put it onto Blue? Can you grab this Death Touch counter and put it onto Blue? Or this Shield counter and put it onto Blue? There's lots of really cool stuff. The other thing is that whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you can move a counter as well from it. So you can be like, Blue's sitting here. I'm going to be like, hey, Blue, take that flying counter from over there. And now all of a sudden, all your dinosaurs are flying. All your dinosaurs, have shield tokens. There's lots of really cool stuff that you could potentially do with this. And I really, really like Blue and Owen here. It's a shame that, the Rex cards are a bit hard to get, but I'm really happy with this. So that's my list here of 5 champions that I think, 5 legendaries that I think people aren't really talking about, that I think would make amazing commanders. Xavier, you've got Zashola Toyak, you've got Tson here. Tetson's probably one of my favorites of this list. Honestly, I like all of them. Malcolm, and then finally Owen and Blue. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I hope you guys had a wonderful day, and goodbye.